Hey Sneaky Snuck, this is TVP again in the Silver League. And you are winning most of your games lately, but you haven't played enough to get anywhere near enough to get promoted. It usually takes like plus 32 to get promoted. And if you were in the middle of the league when you started to improve, then that means you're only going to need to win like 12 games to get promoted. But if you were at the bottom of the league, you need 32, that kind of stuff. And that means like if you go 90 and 58, then that's plus 32. Yeah. So it's not like you have to win 32 in a row. You can win them at any rate you want. Same build as before. This is way too late on this bunker, but it obviously doesn't matter because Protoss fast expanded with a forge, and I don't know if you even know that. Yeah, you totally saw a forge. Anytime you see a forge fast expand from Protoss, you don't need the bunker at all because he can't make a forge first and get an army and attack you. It's just not something that can possibly happen in the entire world. This forge fast expand TVP style has become really, really popular lately. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just crazy. Basically, Protoss auto wins the late game, so all they need to do is survive until then. So I've always kind of wondered why Protosses didn't forge fast expand before. So it seems like this change is something that should have come around 2 seasons ago. I don't know why it took them this long to realize that forge fast expand for the win. But it means that they have no ability to put pressure on you, which means that you can do the same exact push but get a command center first instead of a command center last and end up with the same army size at the end. But I wouldn't recommend that you try doing that because, you have to decide to do that pretty early, and that means you have to have seen the forge pretty early, and it's I don't know, too tricksy. Just do what you've been doing and do it well. Do it well. And with air units and siege tanks, cannons are not going to be an issue once you get to the 10-minute mark anyway, and this is typically a 10-minute push. Come on, use the factory, baby, use the factory. So just like last game, you didn't salvage or empty the bunker. I guess I'm okay with that. A lot of times in TVP, when you push, he's going to warp in zealots and try to walk in and hamper your mining. And having the bunker and the wall in still there, I guess, could work well against that. But honestly, I think the extra Marines and the extra $100 would help more. So you're throwing down a late expo. You're not pulling workers with your push. By not pulling workers with your push, your mineral income is going to stay at 1,100 for a really long time, and that's going to give you the extra money that you need to make that expo. And now your goal is just to keep up production off of these 3 buildings and go make a push with these 3 buildings. So you're going to pull SCVs kind of late. You're going to use your Banshees to get high ground vision and use your tanks to knock down his wall. All of his production is in this wall, and he can't get down this ramp. He has to come out this way, and he didn't even knock down the rock. So you just kind of win automatically from here, I think. He does have Void Rays, but I'm not worried about them because you've got Marines. I guess, I don't know. It depends on, yeah, you should be okay. As long as you don't lose all your Marines and then he just mops up with Void Rays, this should be pretty easy. So 52 workers, double your income. You've pulled workers. He's making DTs and getting charge. You said in your email that basically if you'd killed this pylon, he would have lost because every single one of his buildings is being powered by that pylon, and I agree with you. If you'd killed that pylon, the game would have just ended. But when he does get DTs, at that point, you just gotta kind of lose, man. You've got this huge lead right now, 94 to 62, and massively bigger army than him, and no engineering bay, no Raven, no ability to detect DTs when they come. So luckily, you're not dropping mules. So maybe when he warps in DTs, you'll scan them. Nope, 3 DTs, and you don't notice them, and you don't scan, and DTs kill you. So, honestly, I mean, my strategy against DTs is to lose to DTs, so I don't really mind this at all. But, I don't know. I mean, you can always get a Raven. Against Forge First builds, I really like a Raven anyway, because PDDs eat cannon shots, and cannon shots do crap tons of damage. So now you're probably going to go home and try to make this into a long game, and you've had such a smaller income, so much smaller of an income than him for such a long time that there's really no chance to late game it in this case. And he's going to come over here, kill lots of stuff, and you can see his spending is already like 5,000 ahead of you, 3,000, 4,000 ahead of you. Throwing down a third, but I don't really like. There's no good option from here because he's mopped up your whole push. You can't push out again without a Raven. You're going into double upgrades. You're going into a long game transition. But the only alternative to going into a long game transition would be to make a second push and this time bring a Raven. And I think you've lost enough stuff that probably wouldn't have worked anyway. So you made the right choice transitioning into a long game. You got only one dude on this gas geyser. You've got way too many guys mining off of 2 mineral patches in your main. You got nobody mining at your third. And you're not even making, you are making that Raven now, I think. Yeah, you're making the Raven. So this is a good way to transition. You're getting stim and combat shields and a Raven and all sorts of cool stuff. But I would really like a lot more buildings. You're basically still on the same 3 buildings. You added one more, but with 2 bases, you'll be on 2 base fully mining once you actually move dudes over to your third. You'll be able to support at least 5 buildings, 6, probably 6 buildings, and you only have 4. So your money's going to pile up inevitably, and it does pile up. Even though he's reducing your mining, your money's still piling up. So come on, Raven, what are you doing? What are you doing? Your Raven was like, I can detect the DT, and then it was like, never mind, I'm going to send over here. Here we go, you're mining over here. But now he's getting his third and he's getting his fourth. And anytime a TVP goes into the late game, the only way for Terran to win is if the Protoss screws it up. So even if you do win this game, it's not due to anything, nothing learnable. Learnable. So both of you end up on 4 bases. Got turrets everywhere. Morphing a PF at your 4th. And you're both at 200 unit space for a really long time. He's going to attack you with 0-0 upgrades versus your 2-2. This should be reasonable. He doesn't have any area of effect units. Oh, maybe he does. Okay, so it depends on how good these 3 Templars do with their storms. Whether or not you drop your PDD, whether or not you have a big portion of your army stuck in various non-fight locations. This could go well, it could go badly. Look at his army is $5,000 bigger than yours. He's got almost double your army size, and this is the problem with late game TVP, is that their units are just so much more expensive per dollar that if you both max out, his army is going to be just way bigger than yours. So a lot of it comes down to where he places the Psy Storms, but I mean, when you have double someone's army size, you can almost just aim move in. So these Psy Storms are not terrible, and your siege tanks rip his stalkers to shreds because stalkers are terrible. You do twice as much damage as him in this fight, which you kind of have to do because you have half the army. And you come out pretty far ahead on that engagement. But you don't have enough to counter push across the field. And DTs are going to mop everything up, and you don't really have enough production to spend your money, as is always the case in your games. You've got enough buildings, so I don't think they're all hotkeyed. Your hotkey has 7 buildings on it when it should have 9. And your DTs are ripping you to shreds, even though you have an upgrade advantage. Don't run away, just kill them. There you go, you killed them. Look at this. He loses some more stalkers. He's playing pretty badly. Tons of DTs. I don't know that mass DT is like a reasonable strategy. I feel like DTs were never meant to be massed. So you rip his mass DTs to shreds. He doesn't cast any Psy Storms, even though you're going almost pure Marine against his High Templars, and he leaves. So good job, man. Way to pull it out. In extremely good person versus extremely good person, this situation that you got yourself into where you were way ahead and then a couple DTs kill your whole army and then you're forced to go into a late game transition, that's not really recoverable. But I guess if your opponent doesn't really know proper composition and how to use his troops, then it is recoverable. Like you saw, he had double your army size. If he has double your army size and it's pure Immortal High Templar charge lot Colossus with some Phoenix, you're doomed. Like, the only reason that you were able to win this fight is because he made almost pure Stalker. And this is what I'm seeing from every game I've watched between you and Tyrion, is that in the Silver League, Protosses love Stalkers. They are Stalker obsessed. And this is great. Stalkers are terrible. You should be happy that he's doing this. So good job, good game, well won.